Donald Trump right now is as unhinged as I think we've ever seen him before, and that's saying a lot. Like, take a look at what he's posting and doing, then let's compare that to what Vice President Kamala Harris, Governor Walz, and President Biden are doing. I think that contrast is helpful. You have Donald Trump posting things like this. Two failing New York Times reporters question my story about a forced landing of a helicopter in a field with the former mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, and others. First of all, it was in New Jersey, not California, and it was Willie Brown, not former Governor Jerry Brown. So far, they are about as accurate as they are with their other stories about me. He goes on and just posts a ton of posts like this, post after post. Here's the facts. It turns out that this story is actually about Nate Holden. He's now 95 years old, a former Los Angeles councilman who was close to Donald Trump at that time. Another black man who Donald Trump is saying that was Willie Brown. By the way, that's another sign of potential dementia there by Donald Trump. But Donald Trump just mixed up the people and then started attacking the New York Times over and over again. Look, Donald Trump's waking up to horrific polls. I mean, the New York Times Siena poll has Donald Trump trailing by 4 in Michigan, in Wisconsin, and in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump used to post about that New York Times Siena poll all of the time. You have Celine Dion sending cease and desist letters through her legal counsel and management to Donald Trump at that Montana event, traveling fascist circus thing that Donald Trump calls a rally in Montana. They were playing, Donald Trump was 90 minutes late, and the music they were playing was Celine Dion from the Titanic. It's probably the correct imagery of Donald Trump's campaign sinking. But as Celine Dion's management team posted, today Celine Dion's management team and her record label, Sony Music Entertainment Canada, became aware of the unauthorized usage of the video recording musical performance and likeness of Celine Dion singing "My Heart Will Go On" at a Donald Trump J.D. Vance campaign rally in Montana. In no way is this use authorized, and Celine Dion does not endorse this or any similar use. And really, that song? Donald Trump is also sending emails like this. Final call. This is one of the last red MAGA flags. So if you're on Donald Trump's listserv, he sends you about 12 emails every single day. About every 90 minutes, you get bombarded with some email, and usually there's like a scam. We're giving you an award. You're getting a golden ticket. We're giving you, you're going to be able to meet Donald Trump. All you have to do is click this button and donate this money, and you get to meet him. And it's always a scam. It's always a lie. But here is a final call. Ben, this might be your last chance to get your hands on my official red MAGA flag. Just think about that Trump and the MAGA movement have their own flags. They've replaced the United States of America flag, the great U.S. flag, the American flag. They replaced with MAGA flags that they have at Donald Trump's events. Or how about this one right here? Congratulations. I just received a medal. Ben, congratulations. You just won the gold medal in Trump World. Here it is. Limited edition. This is the gold medal. Looks like some bootleg hat. It says limited edition, Make America Great Again gold, honoring you. This is Trump's email. Honoring you with this MAGA hat is my way of saying thank you for your unwavering support. My gold MAGA hat is as special as a gold medal. So please claim your offer before it's too late, and I'll ship one straight to your home. Once again, thank you so much for your support and congratulations. So I clicked it. And here's what shows up. For $50, you can qualify for the gold MAGA hat. For $75, you can click this amount if you're supporting Trump in 2024, plus the gold MAGA hat. And then you give up to $1,000 if you want this MAGA hat that they pretend that their supporters won. And then Donald Trump randomly does this email with the subject, I love Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. He endorsed me. He's great. But can I be honest? I love Ben even more. Your full-throated endorsement now that crooked Joe Biden has dropped out would truly put me over the top. I mean, just think about what he's sending to his supporters. They get this email, I love Elon Musk, and then he says, I love him. He endorsed me, but I love you even more. Your full-throated endorsement now that crooked Joe Biden. What? What in the world is, and there's another scam, free flight, free hotel meal, enter to win. Well, if you have to enter and pay Donald Trump the free flight, the free hotel, the free meal, ain't free by the very nature of it. Now, can we compare this, though, for a second, though, just to like, okay, what's President Biden posting this at the same time? Here's what President Biden's posting. Thanks to the PACT Act, over 1 million veterans are getting the care they deserve in every corner of the country. So over 1 million veterans have had health care approved, life-saving care that they otherwise would not have received because of legislation passed by President Biden called the PACT Act. Remember when the Republicans like Ted Cruz were fist-bumping each other, trying to block the PACT Act, and then Jon Stewart and other people helped push it over the finish line? And this was one of President Biden's big initiatives. So he's talking about issues. President Biden also posts, America invented semiconductors. Over time, the United States went from producing nearly 40% of the world's chips to just over 10%, making our economy vulnerable to global supply chain disruptions. The Chips and Science Act is changing that. Wow, he's talking about actual policy. He's not posting deranged attacks at New York Times reporters. He's not scamming and grifting. Wow, he's actually, doing the job that he was hired to do. President Biden writes, today marks 2 years since I signed the bipartisan Chips and Science Act into law to revitalize American leadership in semiconductors, advance American competitiveness, and more. These investments are creating opportunities across the country, and we're just getting started. President Biden also posts this. Husband, father, veteran, teacher, coach, congressman, governor of Minnesota. And with your vote, we will make Governor Tim Walz our next vice president. I'm excited to cheer this team on. Just think about how humble he is in writing that. Compare that, though. What was Donald Trump posting? Donald Trump posted a video today that said Megan Thee Stallion, she's a very famous hip hop artist who's supporting Vice President Kamala Harris, saying that she is turning black women into, quote, vessels of lust. Trump's new video post also claims Vice President Kamala Harris isn't a black woman. Then, of course, I showed you the post where Donald Trump superimposed Vice President Kamala Harris's face on a dung beetle. And you see it right there, and he darkened her face. He's like blatantly just horrifically racist and just like immature and just disgusting types of stuff. There's really no other way to describe it other than like, I don't want to go back to that. We ain't going back to that. Speaking about going back, though, here's 4 years ago, just to remind you what happened 4 years ago to the day. So 4 years ago to the day, here's Donald Trump holding one of those horrific press conferences. It's one of the reasons I even started MeidasTouch 4 years ago, where Donald Trump said that the 1917 pandemic ended World War II because all of these soldiers were sick. World War II, 1917. I don't think you have your history right there. Here, play the clip.
In 1917, they say, right? The great pandemic certainly was a terrible thing where they lost anywhere from 50 to 100 million people. Probably ended the Second World War. All the soldiers were sick. That was a terrible situation.
Now, I want to share with you, too, you may have seen this video that we produced at the MeidasTouch Network before, but I think it's appropriate to show now because as Donald Trump is making up these stories about being on helicopters with people who he wasn't on, and then attacking people for just pointing out the facts, here's a video that we created at the MeidasTouch Network showing Donald Trump's steep mental decline. You may have seen this before, but it's important. Watch it again. Watch the full thing. It's very important. Here, play this clip.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, sir, don't dignify it with Refuddle.
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
the late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro? Venezuela, though it's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words,
The failing New York Times by anonymous, really anonymous.
struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
And then can we just compare for a second, though, yesterday's speech, Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Walz with Donald Trump's speech in Montana? I won't show that many clips, but it's so important that you see this. Here is Governor Walz talking about Vice President Kamala Harris talking about freedom. Play this clip.
So when you hear Kamala Harris and I talk about freedom, we're very clear about this. We mean the freedom to make your own health care decisions. And that your children should be free to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in their classroom. Look.
Here's Vice President Kamala Harris talking about actual policy during her speech.
And it is my promise to everyone here, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America. Including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
And contrast that to here's Donald Trump talking about Senator John Tester's stomach saying you can't call somebody a fat pig. Here, play this clip.
His name is John Tester, and I don't speak badly about somebody's physical disability, but he's got the biggest stomach I have ever seen. I swear. I swear. That's the biggest stomach. I have never seen a stomach like that. Because he doesn't look that heavy. You're not allowed to use the word fat. So if you use the word fat, you can say obese, you can say anything, but you can't say fat. That's the end of your political career. I said it the other night. Somebody in the audience said, Chris Christie is a fat pig. And I said, sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. You should not. And we argued about it for 3 or 4 minutes, and that was it. Nah, he's not a fat pig.
And here's Donald Trump referring to a New York Times reporter, Maggie Haberman, as maggot hag. Maggot hag? Here, play this clip.
The great Doug Mills Pulitzer Prize. Even though he works for the New York Times, that's okay. He works for the New York Times, and that's one of the only Pulitzer Prizes that was actually earned. How they got this woman, Maggot Hagerman. Did you ever hear of it? Maggot Hagerman. She's a reporter. She pretends like she knows more about Trump. I have nothing to do. If the woman speaks to me once in a year, today I called her, I said, your stories are all fake. Why don't you stop it? But think of it. They have a man here who I really like. He's a great photographer. Doug, it's nice to have you. Make me look nice and thin if you don't mind. He voted.
And if you want to know, like, okay, well, who are the people? Like, who supports that? Well, here are the Trump supporters in Montana. Here's a lady, and here she's saying why, one of the reasons she supports Donald Trump. Play this clip.
And I watch how wokeness destroyed people of my age. They hate America, they hate guns, and I was law enforcement. And they were teaching us every day, because you're white, you cannot pull over people based on their skin color, you cannot judge, and you have to watch your mouth, or they will kick you out of the military and punish you. I've watched good men be dishonorably discharged, and they forced the jab on us too. I had to get out at that point.
So judge for yourself, make the calls for yourself. But seeing Donald Trump in this complete meltdown is definitely a sight to behold. But let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.